wanna see this. Yeah. Hey, I remember.
Hi, I'm Paul Warren.
And I'm Ryan Klein.
And this is another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies. So today is a special episode because it is our 10th episode.
We did it, double digits.
We finally did it. The dream has been realized.
It's a real thing.
So 10 times. So to celebrate our 10th episode, we're going to be talking about 5 things because, there's 2 of us. When you divide 10 by 2, you get 5. So here is a list of 5 things that Google lies to you about.
Exactly, and like I said, this is going to be our titular one, meaning it's SEO is dead and other lies. We're going to be actually talking about why those are lies, and we're going to talk about a handful of them right now.
So you read I'm assuming the same blog article you read about 18,000 times on the different SEO websites about how you shouldn't do these things. We're just going to tell you exactly why Google's wrong about it and why we know that it works, and you can do it right now. I'm not saying that you should do it, but you can do it, and you can get rankings from it.
Maybe a couple you should, because it's probably pretty important.
Yeah, some of them you definitely do. So to start off the list, number 1, content is king.
We love that one.
I can't disagree with how much BS that this is, actually, more.
Exactly, yeah. And the whole thing is that content is extremely important, but content is king. The thing that's been pushed and you've seen made into memes and put on Instagram and put on Facebook and blogs everywhere across the board for God knows how long, it just simply is not true. And actually, at any point, probably wasn't true to begin with.
Yeah. It's like you tell people, or you're a small business, and you're like, man, I'm just going to write this great article that's going to give so much information to my clients or whoever, and they're going to really use it and blah, 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 blah.
So you're talking about with businesses and they write this stuff?
So, it's kind of sad really in a lot of ways because, you read Google's terms of service and they really preach just to hope for the best, right? So you write a really good article, you spend a lot of time on a resource, you're a small business, you don't really have a lot of money to write a ton of articles. So you take the time out of your day to write a really good article and you put it up there, and then 3 months later it's had 7 page views, hasn't gotten any organic traffic, hasn't done anything. But what is ranking really well though? The Huffington Post, which has the same article 18,000 times published over and over again, just kind of with slightly different content, and it's thin content to begin with, but they've done so many of the same article that Google thinks it has relevance about that subject when people search it, and it just comes up.
Yeah, can you imagine being that business owner that works in that business day in, day out? You take the time out of your day, like you said, to really divulge all that beautiful background and that knowledge that you have into that blog post that your grandson showed you how to post on WordPress, and then meanwhile Huffington Post ranks number 1 because someone just rewrote possibly your own article after doing research.
Yeah, they might even quote you in that article or link to it, and they're just going to outrank you, which is ridiculous. I see it all the time in the legal niche. It's FindLaw is one of the bigger SEO websites, and so is Avvo. And they just pump out a lot of content. You can write a way better article than whatever it is that they're trying to talk about, and it could be longer, and it can just be way easier to read. It doesn't really matter. Google, FindLaw, those sites, they've gotten so many links from other websites, especially lawyer websites, that there's not much you can do about it. Yeah,
and the main reason is exactly what Paul's talking about right now. It's why is the main reason that this content that's so much better, the night and day, if you compare them side by side, why is this content so much better not gain nearly the visibility? And it's simply because of authority. Yeah, it's because of those links.
So really, myth busted. Content isn't king. Links are king at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's why it is.
I feel like FindLaw or something like that could just publish just a page title and an H1 for something and probably outrank a lot of sites
just a page
for it.
Just has an
there
H1.
Wouldn't be anything else on there.
The
it could be Flash. It doesn't matter. They probably would still.
I'd say there's about a 99.7% chance that if FindLaw posted something with an H1 with no content, it would outrank 99.7% of other blogs.
I'd love to see them test that. That would be great.
It would be true. I completely agree. And then I guess the last part about that is to talk about what Google would typically say in this situation is that there's just
Trust us.
Just trust.
Our algorithm will figure out the good content.
Trust the process. They say that because even now in 2018 we're adding exponentially more content and websites to the internet every single day compared to 10 years ago and 20 years ago, that somehow your content's gonna be so good that people are naturally gonna go out of their way and be like, you know what? I think this is the best article I've ever read on the subject. I'm going to take it and put it on Facebook for you. I'm going to share it around. They're going to share it. They're going to share it, and it's going to get viral because you're the man when it talks about how to clean carpet after you spill red wine on it.
Here's the reality of it. Google hates its most popular product, okay? And that's organic search. And it hates it because it can't make money off it like it can from ads. And that's like the main reason. They want small businesses to have to pay for ads. That's what they want you to do. They want you to advertise in the map pack. They want you to use like PPC. They want all that stuff to happen. So they have no reason to really help you out in that kind of situation.
Yeah. So I guess the bottom line for that to conclude that subject is if you're writing without any sort of link building or any other authority building thing in mind, just expect to be writing for your friends and family. They're going to be looking at your website every once in a while.
Yeah. So in the end, content is not king. Links are king. It still is. It's always been. It's probably always going to be that way unless they invent some other different search engine that doesn't work off that algorithm.
I mean, until link building strategies change anytime soon, which they truly haven't in a long time, then that's the way it's going.
Yeah. All right. So let's go on to the second giant lie that you hear from Google, and it's more of an encompassing lie, I would say, and that is just follow Google's terms and conditions.
I guess, yeah, definitely piggybacks onto this.
Yeah. So what I like to generally do is read Google's terms and conditions, and then I look at all the stuff they tell you to do, and then I just do the exact opposite, and that's generally what the SERPs will look like on most given days.
Sure. Do you have any examples of terms and conditions besides what we kind of generally know? I mean,
there's something we're going to talk a little bit more about, but we can talk about them right now too. So everyone kind of freaks out in the SEO industry when algorithm updates happen, and it's like ostriches sticking their head in the sand because they're freaking out. I got to optimize this thing for whatever mobile crap's going to happen, or HTTPS, whatever. And at the end of it, it's nothing really happened. I remember the mobile apocalypse was a big one.
Yep.
It was back in 2015 or 16.
Yeah, and of course, especially in my position, I did everything I had to do. I don't want my
it was a big
off.
deal. We were we got to do this, and then poof, nothing really happened at all. And it was exactly like a lot of big announcements that they tell. And in my opinion, if Google tells you about an update happening, nothing's probably going to happen after it. It's the stuff they never tell you about when you see changes.
That's exactly the rule of thumb is whenever Google exactly say when Google is hey, you should prepare for this. What it is that I don't think they're necessarily planning on switching up SERPs too much based off of that, but it's kind of wishful thinking because they're this is going to benefit the user experience if people do it, but we don't really plan on executing anything specifically an algorithm update to penalize or benefit exactly.
I think they have a public date, and then they have eventually this is when we want this to happen. A lot of times it's they do years later. Well,
sometimes they do it way prematurely too. So sometimes they'll do it a month in advance and then be hey, we kind of did something that's like this too.
What's great is when they have you do a bunch of work for nothing, the Google authorship crap that you had to do.
God, I miss authorship.
That was it took a little bit of time.
That CTR was sweet.
And that was before the popularity of Tag Manager too. So it just took more time to actually do that with a dev. And it was ridiculous.
Quick story about authorship that's pretty funny. So when I was working at that, when I first got the job at that law firm down in South Florida, and I was their in-house SEO, and I met with him the first day, and I had my list of okay, I'm gonna come in here, I'm freaking kicking the door down, I'm gonna freaking hit the ground running. I got 50, 100 things I plan on doing. I got a whiteboard in my room with a bunch of lines and circles everywhere, and no one knows what it means, but they think that's my grand plan. Which it kind of was, but it was kind of for show.
Number one, Google authorship.
But one of the first things on my list was you don't have authorship, a lot of your competition has authorship.
Get it.
And I was this is a priority because your click through is going to go through the roof once you get that, because they already had a couple good things ranking. So I got them authorship within the first few weeks or something.
And then
freaking
we got rid of it.
The freaking I swear to God, I was so happy. And literally 2 days after I got it, they removed all authorship.
Hey, thanks for the memories.
I remember doing it, and I was no freaking way.
That's such a typical like Google thing.
Yeah, a good thing I had another 49 things on my list, which included.
Yeah, so I just if you're like a new SEO, and you read those things, like don't take any of that really to heart. Here's what you really got to do: is you got to test stuff on your own. Go ahead and make burner sites and like just anything they say, like do the opposite and see if like you get good rankings out of it. But like, actually like, test that stuff. I don't even know how many people Google even know what's in that like algorithm anymore. I mean, you had like how many changes they make like a year. It's like you add 1,000 things into soup. Like what's in the soup anymore? Like no one knows. You know,
it's true. I mean, yeah, we used to be like, oh, it's Hummingbird, now it's Penguin, now it's Panda, and we used to kind of like all gather around and huddle and powwow.
Like, oh, this is it.
Like, what are we gonna do? Which one is this focusing on? Do you think this one's links? Do you think this one's on site? Do you think this one is going to be mobile? And then we put so much time emphasis on it, and it was just like after a while, it's just like, man,
this is
just
BS.
Freaking do your thing.
Yeah,
and you can't get like super hung up on it because. Especially since, which is funny when they go, our algorithm update only plans on affecting 1% to 2% of searches, and like, how come it always affects every search I ever work on?
Yeah, that's
how does that work? So I guess to wrap up the terms and conditions, which is kind of saying like Google announcements and updates is Don't like get super hung up on it. Oftentimes, if they're saying it's a best practice, in reality, it probably isn't, and it probably is best, exactly like Paul's saying, to have a couple test websites, experimental websites. You're messing around. Maybe you're trying to rank for some e-commerce thing, or you're messing around with some local keyword. But always like be screwing around with stuff and see if it really is true.
That's like one of the things I kind of miss about Matt Cutts is like having a figurehead to like complain about and like call out on like all his like BS. And unfortunately he's been gone for I'm not really sure how many years now. It's like it feels like forever, but I think it's like 3 years since he retired feels like an eternity. Yeah, from that position in Google. But basically don't listen to him, do your own tests, come to your own conclusions. And that's really all you can do as an SEO. So the next thing we're going to talk about that you'll always see like blog posts on, or just people talking on Twitter as like black hat techniques like don't work in 2018. And they absolutely do work. Even the ones that you are so old and spammy like still work. I've tested all of them, and
I don't think
all of them get rankings.
I mean, we're not talking about keyword stuffing and cloaking and that kind of stuff.
I've never tested like cloaking at all.
Cloaking
never
is silly.
Tested keyword stuffing either.
Well, cloaking is the same thing as stuffing, except you can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never tested either one of those.
I've tested keyword stuffing. It didn't really work.
Yeah, I've just never like.
But that's one that's
worried
easy.
about it.
But semantically, that's one super easy to get removed from an algorithm.
Yeah.
It's like you said this word like 50 times on a page. Why would that
it's easy for like Google to figure out that you're doing that?
Yeah, so
really easy. So, but I'm not really talking about that because I don't think most SEOs.
Well, I just want to make sure people.
Yeah, I don't think anyone that's an SEO in 2018 is particularly like, oh, we got to do keyword stuff and get rankings. I mean, I think that's an antiquated thing.
Pages and redirecting and keyword stuff.
But I would say like Web 2.0s. Yeah, actually, that shit still gets you rankings. I can't believe it, but it works really well.
Yeah, every time you do a project like that, you're always saying you have success with it.
Building a ton of spam links, that actually works really well too. You would be shocked.
When you say spam links, what's your
with
definition?
like GSA, like literally like the bottom of the barrel, like followed like comments, like anything that it can find out there, like. And building a bunch of them, that still works in rank sites all the time in competitive niches.
I worked for an SEO company like 5 years ago, or no, it's not 5. I think it's 7. Sorry, yeah. Well, no, it's like 7
Pretty
years
old.
ago. Yeah. Oh,
like I knew you 5 years ago, and you definitely weren't working at that.
Yeah, you're right. Whoops. There goes the time. I was doing comment links a lot of comment links, a lot of forum links, but manual. I'm like, man.
Forum links still absolutely work. I've tested that. I've ranked stuff with it as of even like 4 months ago, and like all the stuff that like, oh, don't do this, whatever, blah blah blah. Like that stuff really works. What's another like super black hat thing that people tell you not to do anymore?
redirecting whole websites.
Okay, we were gonna save this one for last, but like, I want to do it anyway. I want to talk about it.
No, let's do it later because I have stuff to say about it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that'll be our bonus one that we didn't talk about before. But that's a good one. So yeah, like all the kind of stuff that they tell you not to do, like spun content. Okay, there's another one.
No, spun content doesn't work.
Oh my
nearly.
gosh.
No,
it doesn't work as well as it used to, but it'll still work.
No, but because that's the thing is, that's how the stuff on like blog networks. That's how it gets the manual actions. Because at the end of the day, there still are human beings that check websites, and when it's like okay. So when you have your blog network, right? They all look like not.
I'm not talking about like for your PBN. I'm talking about like if you're posting like links on other stuff using software, you can spend that content. It reads terrible, but it still works in rank stuff.
Yeah, but they won't convert anything. I think it's worthless.
I mean, like when you point those to your money, like the Web 2.0 that I built it specifically with spun content to see if it would work.
I mean,
and we had one article that we spun like 30 times, right? And that's what we published on like the Web 2.0 blog network, and it ranks our money site for that keyword.
But you're linking from it. You're saying?
Yeah.
I get that. I only use it for link building.
I'm not saying like spun content on the site you want to rank.
I think it's
that doesn't really work.
I think it's good for.
I don't even know why you would do that.
Well, what I'm saying is I think it works for Web 2.0, but don't use it for a blog network because if there's it'll get a manual action to you. Because any time I ever did it like the spun content was getting like freaking knocked down.
Like you're saying, don't use it on a PBN.
Yeah, because if it gets a manual review, it's just like this is pure crap.
Well, if it gets a manual review, it's going to be hard to like not get that taken down anyways.
No, ever since I didn't do spun content for that stuff, I've never got a manual review.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen your PBNs. They're pretty obviously PBN.
But the content's all real though.
Yeah, but that doesn't. It's obvious what I'm looking at.
But it didn't get manual reviews.
Well, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
A human does look at it, like that works at Google.
But I guess
that is coming down.
But they're pretty. I'm telling you, I guess they're apathetic enough once the content makes sense.
Maybe they are.
They didn't even question it.
They're like, whatever. But not everyone's good at web design.
If it's fun, it's gone.
All right, so to get back at this, block hack techniques, even like the lame, silly ones. Like, I haven't tested like directories now. In a lot, like I don't know if you just built directory links, if that would work. I have no idea, but that would be like a funny thing to test. Sure. I don't really have time to waste to do that. I might like pay someone like a really cheap amount of money to like do that. Or
we pay people to do all these things we're talking about.
We did at one point pay people to do all these things. Very cheap.
Yeah, I still do.
Yeah, I mean, you don't pay people to do like GSA like a ton of like links.
No, I don't do that kind of links right now.
Yeah, so. Because you just found a better and easier way to do it that you can control, and like you don't have to have the software, and like you can add. It's like you can scale it. Like you can scale PBNs really easily.
Yeah.
Especially if like you stick in one.
It's a lot of maintenance, but it works.
Yeah. But actually, that would be pretty cool. I might test that over the next like month to see if it works for something. Like just.
Well, you'll let everyone know how it goes.
Because when you think about it, when you do local link building, so citations. I mean, those are essentially directory links anyways.
They're pretty much.
And like,
they're pretty similar.
You can rank a site kind of with that. A local site, definitely, for like whatever city modifier terms. Like
I've never had success with citations alone. I was thinking a little bit more.
I've never just tried citations.
I wouldn't recommend it.
But I would like to see. I don't know. Well, it could be a cool experiment. I probably won't do it. I probably won't do it at all. All right, so going on to our next technique.
This is number 4.
Is this number 4?
Cool.
You will get penalized if you buy links.
I guess it's kind of like these are all kind of just segueing into one another.
They are kind of all tied together.
So you can buy multiple links. You can buy people's blogs. You can buy it on their website. You can buy from their PBN. I mean, you can buy links any way you look at it.
There's a ton of ways to buy links.
Technically, you can
go to Forbes and buy a link from them. For
it's even white hat. All if you want to be squeaky clean and be like, I'm never going to do like black hat stuff. Technically, you can buy scholarship links, which we know people do.
Yeah, we do
In
that
a
where
way,
I currently
you buy
work out.
scholarship links. You can buy sponsorships.
I did that at a law firm, and it worked amazing.
Yeah, you buy sponsorships for things. You're buying links in
Yeah.
a way that way too.
No,
But-
you're sponsoring them, and they're giving you a link.
Yeah,
It's
and
very
then, and then like the 100% of the reason you're doing it is because you don't care about little Betsy getting 3 meals a day. It's because
Yeah.
you want to get that link.
I mean, but it works, right? And they don't penalize you for that kind of stuff at all.
Yeah. So how about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any situation where Google has penalized people for doing anything like that.
I mean, how can you get penalized for buying links?
And here's
Inherently,
here's
but
like
logically.
what I've noticed too, and this is something different since they've changed the algorithm. I mean, there was a time where like you could get a penalty, like a non-manual penalty, right? Just an algorithmic penalty, and you would have to go through your backlinks and like audit stuff, and then you'd have to submit like a request to have those backlinks removed from your profile, and you don't have to do that anymore. Like
Disavows?
Yeah, you really don't have to disavow anything anymore.
Oh,
I haven't like
I know.
paid attention to
I know
that in forever, and it's mostly because I mean I think you can get like at a page level penalty where you might want to like go in and like try and get some of those links removed, but like domain level penalties from backlinks, I haven't seen that happen in a long time.
Just bring down the authority of your homepage that spreads on to like an infection or virus to the rest of your website.
I've never seen that happen.
I personally never seen that happen either.
Those, like algorithm updates since they went to like the real time Penguin and like Panda updates.
And the reason being because negative SEO has become such a real thing over the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It would be interesting to really like. I can't talk to someone at Google because they're not going to tell me the truth about that anyways. So I just got to
Tell the truth.
It would be cool to like know, just like know what the truth is about this thing, instead of like having to test all of it.
And like the logic behind not being able to negative SEO people because of spam links is logical because
You can just spam your competitors.
I mean, all you could do is you can go to the dark web. No, you can go like find some shady person and be like send them 10,000.
Hey,
porn.
you're not shady.
Yeah,
Just trying to make a living, right?
Yeah, everyone does it some way. Like that guy in Fiverr who's like, if you don't leave me a
Hold on.
5-star
Okay,
review,
side story. This is pretty amazing.
it's pretty funny.
It wasn't a review. It was like
It was an email.
It was backlinks.
It was like a message.
All right, so you got the email, so I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, because he wanted the review, or else he did it.
No, he wanted you to pay him to remove the links.
No, he wanted me to review his gig and give it like 5 stars.
Or he would send you.
Or he would send. No, he already sent me 1,000 negative links in quotation marks.
All right, just tell the whole story because
Okay,
you guys
so-
are listening. I'm really sorry that we're telling
What's
this
happening
like,
right now?
disconjointed story.
Okay, so I got this email. It's from this dude on Fiverr, and he goes, "Hi, I have like this gig that does God knows what," and he goes, "Listen, I've already sent you 1,000 negative links to your website. In order for me to remove them, I need you to purchase my gig." To do whatever and then leave a 5-star review.
It was a bold move.
And he goes, "Listen, time's tough. I have to support my family."
That's what it said. Yeah.
And then he goes, "I hope you understand."
Yeah, that's what it said. I have to support my family.
And then like I like finally clicked on the link maybe like 2 or 3 hours later, and sure enough, by that time he got
taken
reported
down.
so many times that it didn't exist anymore.
I wonder if he got. Well, it wouldn't matter because it got taken down. He should have come up with a better payment scheme.
It's a threatening and it's blackmail and it's a lot of other things. So I don't know if it hinges on being illegal almost. I mean, he was obviously the way he worded it.
He was not in the U.S.
He was
by
not in the
any
U.S.
means.
According to the grammar and the syntax.
Yeah.
But
it was like, I have deal for you.
Yeah,
this deal.
But the best was like,
for you.
I just hope you understand. Desperate times.
Yeah, the family thing. That was a nice touch.
Anyway, as far as purchasing links, which is what we're still on,
and like people always would make a big deal of it. And I've watched a lot of like SEOs and like YouTube videos, and they're like, if you can go to Fiverr and you can buy 10,000 links right now, and people always say I can do that instead of like buying SEO services like good ones. And I'm like, go ahead and do it. It's going to destroy your site. And like, honestly, today it really won't destroy your site. It's really hard to destroy your site with links now.
I just think at the end of the day, like it's so bizarre. Like this whole concept, like was a black hat or is a white hat to get these links? And these people that are like, on the high horse, were like, I only do white hat. Like these are people that are doing things that are like kind of manipulative and they don't have their heart in the right place. When you do scholarship links, They're doing it because they want links. It's weird. When they're doing sponsorships, they're like, I'm gonna get a good link. They don't like. They know that it's the philanthropy is a byproduct.
Yeah,
it's not the forefront.
What's wrong with that?
But no, it's okay. But it's like you can't be like you're squeaky clean, like ethical. It's just your intentions aren't like 100% genuine.
By definition, there is no white hat link building.
That's what I mean.
You can't possibly like build links white hat. Like if you ask for a link by Google's own terms and conditions, you aren't supposed to do that.
According to Google is like if you produce good content, people will want to link to you naturally. And guess what? That's like by far not even remotely the majority of websites.
Yeah, you know how much like amazing content just goes without ever being linked to.
Everyone has to find other means of building authority. Like you can't just get lucky like building a new website tomorrow that has the best content in your given subject.
That's like saying if you just make a really good movie, right? People will just put it in the theaters for you.
Yeah,
you have to know. You got to like promote that stuff. You got to be like, hey, here's some. You got to put it up there. I mean, you have to put it in front of people, and you got to figure out how to do that. Like buying links, getting links is the only way to do it.
You could be like some humble dude that lives in a flyover state that could potentially be the greatest president of all time by far. But if you don't have a million people and then money in their pockets, and then be doing networking and doing deals with people, and nothing's going to happen. Yes. So that's the same thing.
So long story short, I mean, don't like go overboard on it, or I mean, like don't test the waters if you don't have to.
Don't over optimize your website either.
Yeah, don't
be scary.
But like you're probably not going to have any problems with that. The next one is, and this was so huge when I was first starting on SEO about 10 years ago.
When I was a boy,
guest blogging was a very popular thing. Actually, everyone was nuts about guest blogging. They're like, get as many guest blogs as humanly possible. And this was even like, do you remember like the word clouds that blogs used to have?
Yeah,
like the keyword clouds.
Those are cool.
Actually, the site that
Bringing it back
now has one of those on their blog. It's amazing.
Real quick, I don't want to get sidetracked, but can you say when I was a child with Christopher Walken?
You want me to do a Christopher Walken impression on this?
Like say when I was a child.
I don't know if I can. When I was a child.
Perfect. All right.
That's all I got. Anyways, yeah. So guest blogging was huge, and then just like everything in SEO that works, everyone does it a lot. A shit ton, like too much, right? And everyone was worried after that point that like you were gonna get manual penalties, all this stuff from guest blogging, and it was kind of ridiculous because it was like I will accept a guest post anywhere. It was like I don't care what the niche is. Hey, I'm a financial company. Hey, what's up, yoga blog? I'd love to guest post on your website about this stuff.
Yeah,
and people were just doing it wherever they could. And that was back when you still kind of knew the page rank of pages too, which is cool. Google says it's gone away. I mean, it hasn't gone away. You just don't know what it is.
That's a bonus lie.
Oh, man. PageRank's still totally a real thing. We just don't know what the numbers are.
We've talked about it a couple of times. It's just not advertised. It's not
Yeah. Even today, I mean, people still kind of have like a sentiment that like guest posting won't rank your stuff well, or you'll get like penalized, and you won't.
But you think about it on the way that guest posting, that all outreach link building, which is so popular still to this day.
I get emails every single day.
Outreach link building, all it is that they grabbed guest blogging and they took it to a level that it should never gone.
Yeah, but don't feel like you're gonna get penalized if you guest post. And it's still like a totally fun way to get backlinks and rank stuff.
Well, think about, I mean, guest blogging on paper. What about it would seem negative anyway? Like,
I mean,
what is it?
I guess anytime that anyone wants to purposefully scam Google's system, right, which is what we do for a living, they want to crack down on it. I don't really know why they want to crack down on it. Honestly, I really don't know why they care.
Yeah, because it's like, why do you care so much about this website that's not a monster like Huffington Post or Mashable gaining authority?
Yeah, like I remember in the early days of Google when it was like literally the Wild West. It's so much more than it is now. Like people would rank Squidoo pages, right?
Oh,
and they would get money from affiliate Squidoo page.
I haven't heard that in so long, and I made a lot of those pages.
It's not like it's any worse than it is now. I mean, like there's still crap and like fake news websites and like BS all over. There's no less of it. It's still like the same amount. It's just people making less money.
Dude, Squidoo, I had one. It was called just how to play guitar, and it was just me, like recording videos of me just shredding.
Oh yeah, did it rank well?
Yeah, and then it ranked for like how to shred for like a little bit.
I had a friend that like ranked those for like fitness stuff and like put affiliate links on there, and he made like a good amount of money for like couple years.
Well, because all you're doing is just piggybacking off of their authority.
I know, it was amazing. Well, like,
and they worked, yeah.
Web 2.0s were amazing when they were.
You still like them? You still like them?
Well, I mean, no. Back then, you could rank a Web 2.0 site.
Right.
You can't rank a Web 2.0 site. You can use them to rank non-Web 2.0 sites.
Well, you link out from them.
Yeah, you'd have to link out from. So, I don't know if I clarified that earlier in the podcast, but like, you're not gonna like make a blah blah blah.wordpress.com, and that stuff ain't gonna rank at all. Unfortunately, maybe on the third page or something like that.
Squidoo. There was another one too. There was like Squidoo and this other one that went hand in hand as like really popular, but very authoritative 2.0s.
Yeah, so, basically don't be afraid to guest post, and like honestly in local SEO, like you want to guest post on local websites that are like in your city that you can help like with information. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with like being a part of that community and like sharing information with those websites regardless of what Google says.
It's really important to mention, don't let anyone guest post on your website.
Oh yeah, no, don't ever give links back.
Never.
You gotta
ever.
save that juice. You gotta protect the juice.
Yeah, this is like
juice can't get loose.
This is a public announcement. This is a disclaimer. This is a consumer alert. It's very important. If anyone ever freaking emails you and goes, "Hey, how's it going? I'm from blah blah." Like,
no,
I have this great post. I think it's really appropriate for your website, or you have a link section, or you have a resources section, and I think this would be appropriate, and I think it'd really help the visitors to your website. Don't ever do it because it's called outreach link building.
Don't do it. And
never ever do it because you're going to give out precious juice to some person that doesn't give a shit at all.
But if you do it, charge $500 and then see if
have you ever seen if they like do it for money?
I've definitely.
Have they ever like been like, okay, we'll do it for $50?
No. I mean, they have, and I'm like, no. But I've put out $500, and they've done it.
Have you said like that's, you're like, that's pathetic? You have a price?
I mean, it was for like a Forex website, and I was like, it'll be $500, and they're like, here you go.
I'll have them like message like a legal website, and they're with like motorcyclemaintenance.com, and they're like
so unrelated to anything.
Saying, you talk about motorcycle accidents, and maybe motorcycle accidents happen because you didn't maintenance the motorcycle enough, and then therefore maybe this article would have helped that person from having had brain damage.
I will say that like if you're gonna do it, like at least do it on sites that are like make sense. It's like related enough, like don't. Because, like, what value? You're not even bringing value to, like, the end user. I mean, you probably aren't anyways, but, like, at least, like, pretend like you are. Like, if you are a motorcycle shop, maybe it doesn't make sense to post on, like, a florist blog.
If there's anything Google should be hung up on, they should be hung up on outreach link builders. Because that's, like, the biggest illusion of offering value I've ever seen in my entire life.
We're literally just, like, talking about guest posting outreach, how it's, like, works right now.
But don't accept it. Just try to do it.
Oh, just try and do it. Like
it's that double standard.
Don't do as I do. Do as I say. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right.
Cool. So those are 5. Those are important. Feel strongly about those.
Oh, we got our bonus one.
No, we have 2 bonus ones.
No, we have 1 bonus one. I can't remember what the second one is.
I do. What's the first bonus?
The first one is 301 redirects.
Perfect.
I know you want to talk about this. Can we talk about the famous case of this?
You do the famous one, and I'll tell you why it works.
If you don't know what 301 redirect is, you probably have been hating this entire podcast from the beginning because we talk about SEO stuff, and you should probably already know what this is. But if you don't, it's where you just redirect an entire website to another one, and
it's a permanent one.
It's permanent.
It's a temporary. It's a 302.
Yeah, and it passes
311.
all of the link building juice, or all the link juice from another domain to like a new one.
Which it does.
It absolutely does that.
And other people say it does.
And people were always like, oh, it doesn't do that. And also, it doesn't pass the rankings off that this old site has to the new site. And there's a very famous instance of this between an SEO that he doesn't post ever, really. But like when he did post, it was great. And his name was
Conrad?
SEO Grindstone was this site.
I thought it was the Conrad Sam dude, Mockingbird.
No, it was not Conrad Sam.
I like him
I don't much care for Conrad Sam.
Okay, well, I think
he likes scam that girl.
Oh, I don't like scamming girl.
She like scammed that girl out of like her domain. He like lied to her.
I barely remember that story.
Yeah, he like wanted like Mockingbird marketing or whatever, or Mockingbird.com. Well, it's something like that.
That's not
and
as
some
new.
girl owned it, and it was her first like marketing agency. Like she had started on her own, and like he was like, "Oh, my brother is in a band, and like he does marketing for the band." Like he like made up this like
That's not
elaborate
very
like
cool.
BS lie, and then like. Like a month later, she's like, "Oh, there's a new marketing company with the website that I had before."
Sucks. Yeah, not cool. Anyway,
but yeah. All right, so going back, there's a guy, I think it's by Grindstone SEO. That's his website. I can't remember his name, but he's like, he's a really funny like SEO writer.
he's hella good.
And this is back when Moz was still like the leader in like SEO information, and Rand Fishkin was there. He was still working at the company.
How long ago do you think this was? Probably like 6-7 years ago.
Oh, geez, this was about probably like seven years ago.
Okay.
And he did a whiteboard Friday about how it doesn't pass any juice.
And you're talking about redirecting websites that they existed, they went down, or they still exist.
It was in this case it hadn't even gone down.
You just redirect it.
Yeah, you just redirected it. And it was like, no, if it's not going to pass the rankings. It's not going to pass like the link juice off.
Yeah.
Because like this is really like a great way to like game the system, And I think like Google like told him to say this anyways because they didn't want people doing it. And he was like, "You are full of shit. I'm gonna prove you wrong." And so he had an affiliate site that was it sold Doggy Snuggies. Yes. And he redirected Doggy Snuggies to Moz.com. It was MozSEO.com back then, I believe.
SEO Moz.
SEO, yeah, sorry. SEO, was it literally www.seomoz.com?
Yeah, and then they dropped the SEO part.
So he redirected it to their domain, and it ranks number 1 for Doggy Snuggie.
If you typed in Doggy Snuggie,
a week later,
SEOmoz.com came up first.
And like everyone was like kind of talking about it afterwards because he did like a nice post about it and stuff, and like everyone was like talking shit to Rand Fishkin. And he lost his shit, went to Google because he has friends, like he knows people at Google, and he's like a mouthpiece for him in a lot of ways. And they like manually audited like all that dude's sites and like de-indexed a bunch of stuff and like fucked him over real bad.
People from Google manually worked.
Like Rand Fishkin was like, "Look at this guy's stuff. He's making me look like an asshole," and that's what happened.
It's wild.
The best part about that was like at some conference that he was talking at, like a guy that was friends with the Grindstone like came and gave him a Doggy Snuggie. I
saw that picture. That's fantastic. And plus, the guy himself, I believe, took a picture of the Rand at some point, so they already knew each other.
Yeah.
But then they like fundamentally didn't agree with everything SEO-wise, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think they much care for each other still.
Well, that was prior to the event. They weren't
they
going to take a post together
still.
After that.
Yeah.
They probably get along now. And then also to absolutely solidify that fact, a while ago, I used to kind of do like this a pyramid kind of thing with a PBN. So,
pyramid scheme?
Yeah, it was a Ponzi scheme.
I have a good one.
So what I want to do is if the site, I would take a site when I was researching expired domains and finding like authoritative ones. Sometimes you find great ones, but you mostly find like good to mediocre. So what you do is you take like the really good one, and then you take like 5 or 10 not as good ones, and you redirect them all into that better one, and then you boost that one, and then start using it for link building.
Yeah, I mean pyramid.
That's like a pyramid, like kind of normal. So what would happen is, even using Moz's own metrics, like DA and PA, what would happen is like my best one would be like, I don't know, like a DA of like 25, a PA of like 20 or something. And then I would redirect all the other ones to that, and sure enough, a week later it'd be 35 and 30, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that I have proof that the 3-to-1 redirect has passed along a lot of value.
Yeah, it does that.
It just did. That was all I did.
So you can test this yourselves if you want and confirm what we already know is true.
I guarantee if you find a bunch of expired domains that are all like 2020, like I don't know, CFTF, PA, DA, all across the board, and you redirect like 10 of them, make sure though it's in the same industry and the same topics. Make sure that they weren't any point in history spam or in Japanese or Chinese or Korean. Make sure that they were always across the board, like not compromised. And then if you redirect all of them to like a domain, I guarantee without a doubt that you're
do a little legwork for sure.
Just see what it used to be. Make sure it wasn't spam. Make sure it wasn't porn.
Check it out on like Wayback Machine and stuff too. That's what I do.
But if it used to be a legitimate website and it's the same industry,
you can easily bump up your.
It's a good way to like give, especially a new website that's never existed before. If you want to give it a good like freaking boost right off the bat, like a new legal website. If I have a client. Not saying I do this all the time, but if I have a client that has never had a website before and it's a brand new domain and it's going to be it's uphill battle, it's fairly competitive.
It's a competitive niche, you gotta.
You want to give them a jump start for 3 or 4 months, redirect like 10 or 15 legal websites that are all in the same area, and believe me, it'll go from 0 to like 15 or 20.
Yeah,
in like a couple.
You
weeks.
Can even do like if you're not comfortable doing that, you can do like the in between. Like you do all of them to like one good one, and then you do that one good one. Yeah, but it's all going to work at some point.
I have no doubt it'll work. So 3-1 redirects 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what was our last bonus? I don't remember. You said you did
SSL, but that one's a little bit tricky because
talked about that a little bit already.
Well, that one's a little bit timely because it might officially really start kicking off like now because now it's July 11th. And they said that the rollout was happening July 1st. But I will say the first time that they said SSL was going to affect rankings, and I remember seeing announcements
3 years ago.
3 years ago, they literally like did announcements that said like SSL is going to or may affect organic results, and I really don't think that it did at all because I looked at the transference of SSL for like 15, 20 websites and like nothing changed.
I haven't seen. I mean, I think I'm seeing it now. Honestly,
I'm seeing it now,
but. It was a lie for quite a bit.
That was back like the terms and conditions.
Maybe
thing.
It's coming to true now.
Like SSL is good. Maybe you should do it. And and plus, if you have an e-commerce website, sure, of course. But if you have a blog about,
I feel like it's such a scam. I feel like it's a scam. That
maybe they got kickback from GoDaddy.
I think that because like you don't need it if you aren't doing financial related.
It secures the
stuff on
the transmission of information.
Like there's no reason like a local like pizza restaurant website should have to pay.
If you have a blog about
it's like $100 a year.
Yeah, and it's
for the SSL certificate.
Most of them still do it. They'll install it for you, but it's complicated if you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a complete novice at that kind of stuff, and like you would not know how to do it.
If you have
you would have a hard time.
I've done a few manually. It's not fun.
Yeah. All right, so I think we've covered our 5 and our bonus 2 of the
7
top lies that you can hear from Google today. They're still spouting this shit out, but we've proven all of them wrong just from our own experiments.
We didn't even talk about the lie. SEO is dead. Is it dead? Obviously not.
No, it's alive and well. It's never been better, actually. Never been better.
It's live and kicking, and it's going to kick your ass.
So thanks a lot for listening, guys. This has been a landmark 10th episode. Make sure you tune in for our next episode, where we're actually going to be talking about something very interesting, and that is how to find PBN domains.
Oh, man. Yeah, I love that one.
I'm giving a sneak peek to
I didn't even know that was
I didn't even tell Ryan that's what we're going to talk about. We have a really good system. I'm okay with sharing it because like not a lot of people listen to this podcast.
I don't think it'll take that long, though.
We'll get into it because there's a lot of different ways to do it. But we have a really good way of doing it.
We'll have a lot of documents. We'll have to do a lot of visuals too.
Yeah, it'll work out really well.
I'll have attachments.
I'll just explain to you what's on the visual. There's a dot over there in the right corner.
This one's going to be. This
is a spreadsheet.
It's going to be interactive. All right, click this link and then we're going to do this together.
Yeah, no, but we have a couple of pretty good ways to find PBN domains, and I know that's still something like people are interested in doing. If you don't want to like have to pay for them, which like a lot of people do. This is how you're going to do it. And we'll probably even cover a little bit about how to set some of these up afterwards.
Yeah, and the thing is, it doesn't have to be for a PBN. It could be for a side project.
It could be anything.
It could be your main domain.
If you just want to find a good domain for a business that has...
Honestly, this is just like how to find a good...
domain.
A good...
that is cheap.
Domain that used to exist.
Yeah, that used to exist.
So it gives you a jump start because it has links already, has authority, has age, and all that kind of crap.
And honestly, you can find, using our method, you can find enough of these to just sell them. If you want to get into that,
you probably could make a couple bucks off of some of them. We found some really good ones that people have been interested in.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So thanks.
Like the former owners of the website.
I don't think I legally want to talk about.
I've had a
couple
names
calls. I've had some of those.
I've had some calls. Anyway,
so thanks again for listening, guys. to our landmark 10th episode. I'm Paul Warren.
And I'm Ryan Klein.
And this has been another episode of SEO is Dead
and Other Lies.
Lies.
Bye, guys.
Bye.